All right, in this scenario, we have two different windows. We have a smaller window, and then we have a larger window, and both windows are squares. So they give us the total area of both of these windows combined is 136 square feet. So I'm just going to label the dimensions on the smaller as A by A. And again, to find the area, you just multiply length times width, or A times A, which is A squared. And then I'm just going to call the larger window's dimensions B by B. So the area would be B squared. So right now, what is given is that if you add both of the areas together, you get 136 square feet. So if I do A by A, or A squared, so that's the area of the smaller window. And if you add that to the area of the larger window, which is B times B, or B squared, you get 136 square feet. So right now, we can't actually figure out the side lengths until we actually modify this equation. So really the final question is, what are the side lengths of the smaller window? So we need to find A. And again, I can't solve this equation because there's an A and a B in it. So I'm going to go to this next sentence that is written here. It says the larger window is 4 inches longer on each side in comparison to the smaller window. So now that I'm given that comparison, I can actually rewrite this variable B in terms of A. So I'm going to erase the B's here and go back to what it said. It said that the side lengths for the larger window is 4 inches longer on each side in comparison to the smaller. So whatever the smaller side length is, which is called A, it's 4 inches longer, so I need to add 4 to that. So this is A plus 4 on both the length and the width. So if I rewrite this equation now, instead of B squared, I could actually plug in my area in terms of A. So let's actually figure out what A plus 4 times A plus 4 is, so that I could plug it in right here for B squared. So I actually need to distribute here. A times A is A squared. A times 4 is 4A. Distribute the 4 to both terms. 4 times A is 4A, and 4 times 4 is 16. So if I combine my middle terms here, 4A plus 4A would give me 8A. So I have A squared plus 8A plus 16. So I'm going to plug this in right here for B squared. All right, so this is A squared plus, and then I already expanded B squared, which is A squared plus 8A plus 16, and that's equal to 136. So I'm going to combine like terms. A squared plus A squared, that's a total of 2A squared, plus 8A plus 16 is equal to 136. And in order to solve for A, which is what we're trying to find, the side lengths of the smaller window, since this is a quadratic, meaning your highest degree has a power of 2, in order to solve this, we need to make sure this equation is equal to 0. So I need to subtract 136 from both sides. And so I'm left with 2A squared plus 8A minus 120 is equal to 0. Then from here, you could use quadratic formula to solve this, or if this could be factored, I would suggest trying to factor it. First thing I notice is that 2 divides all 3 terms, so I could factor out a 2. So I would be left with A squared plus 4A minus 60. And then from there, I'm going to try to factor this inside. If that can't be factored, then I would have to use the quadratic formula. So to factor this is a trinomial. So I'm trying to figure out what multiplies to negative 60, the back number, and adds to the middle number 4. And there has to be one negative, because to get a product that's negative, there has to be one negative. So there is a factor pair that works here. That would be 10 and 6. So the 10 would have to be positive, the 6 would have to be negative, because when you combine that, you have to combine that and get 4. So I could rewrite my expanded form as a minus 6 and a plus 10. Once you have it factored, you apply the zero product property. I'm just going to erase this right here. So we set each of the factors equal to 0, because if you're multiplying both of these together and your answer is 0, one of those has to be 0. So either the a minus 6 is 0 or the a plus 10 is equal to 0. So if I solve these, add 6 to both sides, a is equal to 6. And if you subtract 10, this should be a 0, from both sides, you get a is negative 10. Now remember, a represents the side lengths of a window. So you cannot have a negative side length, negative measurement, so we're going to throw out the negative 10. So in fact, the side lengths for the smaller window would be a 6 by 6. So that answers our question. What are the side lengths of the smaller window? 6 by 6, or 6 feet by 6 feet. And then the larger, if you throw in 6's there and add that together, it'd be a 10 by 10. So in fact, you can verify your answer. So if I find the area of the smaller, 6 times 6 would be 36 square feet. And then if you have a 10 by 10, that would be 100 square feet. And then of course, if you add these together, you should get 136, which if you add 100 plus 36, you get 136.